Check 1 2. Check 1 2. One more check, just for good measure. A little too loud. I'm going to speak like this, the loudest. Adjusting. I have my other monitor set up. Let me rephrase that. I have my iPad set up. And if it gets all glitchy or something, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Welcome to the Daily Study Group. My name is Miguel Coronado. I'm an illustrator in Austin, Texas. These are the hour study sessions we're having online. Well, they're the hour study sessions CJ Marsh and I are doing online. We're inviting people to join us. We're inviting people to follow along. And we're inviting people that to do their own streaming study sessions when they feel comfortable. And put them online for people to see. These past few days we've been studying anatomy. I'm going through the Imagine Effects anatomy book with lessons and breakdowns by Ron Lemon over the entire body. Yesterday were the shoulders and upper arms. We're going to continue that, and I'm going to kind of jump into the lower arms just a bit. But we're going to start back where we left off. And then, yeah, you can find me on facebook.com/IIIMCIII. I'm on Instagram, Mike086. I'm on Twitter, and Twitter is like Miguel Coronado 3, I think. And then DeviantArt, Mike086. CG Hub, I'm MCIII. It's a combination of either my initials or my username, which is Mike086. Anyway, but I'm on like on the Crimson Daggers forum. That's an important one. Let me pull down a window for everyone to see. If you miss out on a study session, I got all the old ones on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Mike086. And we'll be able to you'll be able to view the old videos. I'm posting them up as fast as I can. I have a bad internet connection, but I normally post them up overnight. Sometimes I post 2 up in a day. Sometimes I post 1 up right after the stream's over. But I feel like there should be another one up here. 13. Here we go. Yeah. So yesterday's is up. The day before. You can go all the way back to the first ones. There's a few other videos on here that might be interesting to people. There's 2 of them called the Massive Black Workshop LA, a recap, and that's just me talking about the workshop this December. I kind of go over things I learned, and the other one I go over critiques I received. And then I have a video called My Online Resources, where I list out a bunch of websites that I use. And I was doing Illuma study sessions back, I guess 10 months ago, according to YouTube. And those were me going through the Figure for All It's Worth by Andrew Loomis. Anyway, we're doing the hour studies now, so we're at least doing an hour study a day. We're trying to make sure that we hit that hour mark at least, and try and make some meaningful progression in the actual studies themselves. Let me close some programs real quick. Okay. Anyway, that's the YouTube channel. If you go there, there's more videos. Let's get started up. I'm going to get a timer going today. Back where we left off with the shoulders. Okay. So, the last few bits that well, there's actually a lot that I didn't go over. Well, a lot meaning like there's text I didn't read out loud. There's a couple diagrams I didn't draw. I'm kind of hitting the most important ones for myself. Anyway. There's something here. There's these, I guess they're called the Riley rhythms, the Riley curves. But I feel like you need to really see a video that, I need to watch videos of how that works out. But anyway, excuse me. Sorry about the clearing of the throat. I do that all the time on live stream for some reason. But here are some diagrams real quick. So I'm going to just draw these out and talk about what I'm seeing here. One of the main things I'm noticing in this diagram that I used to not do as much when I started drawing, and I feel like some people still have this kind of issue when they're drawing the pectoral muscles stretched. Like if you have a guy with his arms stretched out into the sky, the chest, the pectoral muscles curve up with the arms, because when we learned from our core, when we went over the torso and the core of the body, the pectoral muscles connect to the upper arm bone. So let me kind of block out some shapes so y'all understand what I'm saying. At least, because this is something that there's quite a bit of distortion from like the resting position to a stretched position. And that's something we can really take note of. And it's like if you're drawing a guy and the chest muscles aren't distorted like this and his arms are raised up, it means you've messed up, because those muscles are pulled with the arm. They're not pulling the arm, they're just pulled with the arm. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is like 1, 2, 3. That's the serratus, or serratus. So the serratus, sorry. The serratus, those aren't ribs, those are muscles on top of ribs. So keep that in mind. They're not actual ribs. The ribs you would see in someone's chest if they were like if they were like really skinny or really kind of like emaciated. Those ribs are down here. Those 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the area. That's different from what we're drawing right now. We're drawing a set of muscles on the side of the core that that set of muscles is bulkier, and it moves. It fans out. And that's something, I mean, I'm saying this out loud because I was kind of getting that, when I was kind of confusing those with ribs the first day when I was drawing them, and then actually I looked in the mirror before I took a shower, and you can see where your ribs are and where the strataris are, and depending on how in shape you are, like if you're like a bodybuilder or something, you'd have these, like these would look a lot bigger, but coincidentally everything else would also be, I don't work out that much. I run, which means I get really skinny. Well, ideally if I was running every day I'd be getting really skinny, but I'm not running every day. But anyway, back to the study. Deltoid. Okay, so This is the pectoral muscle stretched upward. There's a little kind of mass right here that connects towards the arm. That's part of the deltoid. And then the top part of the deltoid, the part that most people think of when they're drawing the deltoid, is right here. I'm going to run out of paper. I'm going to run out of workspace in a bit. This large tube that I'm kind of drawing in, that's the tricep. And it stretches a good bit. Like from this angle, if I draw the rest of this body, you'll see we're kind of like at a, the camera's kind of like this, looking up. That didn't look good at all. Anyway, I was trying to draw like a, whatever, anyway. There we go. A little better. Trying to draw like a little arrow, but that didn't look quite as well as I thought it would. Anyway. Okay, sorry about that. If there's a bunch of noise in the mic, it's because it's bopping against this this magazine I got open. Deltoid. This is the other part of the deltoid. And the pectoral muscles go into here. And then, well, the pectoral muscles go into here and the bicep kind of comes out. And you can kind of round this off. This is part of the tricep on the side here. This will kind of make more sense if I put this in. Here's like the trapezius. Here's the neck. Here's those neck muscles that we haven't really gone over yet. Kind of see what we're doing. Anyway, and I think I kind of drew the pectoral muscles a little too big. Anyway, so this is just kind of like generally how they would stretch up this way. Up that way. And it's just something that I know when I started drawing I didn't incorporate that. Anyway, okay, let me go on to this next area. You can label it, I guess. Let me label it quick. Just that's the tricep. It's the tricep, not with 2 R's. These two areas are tricep. This is the deltoid. We'll just use a D for deltoid. This is also the deltoid. So the deltoid is wrapping around the arm from the top of the shoulder. Excuse me. Oh man, okay. Sorry, my clock just like talked to me. Sorry, I got real quiet. Just I'm reading this passage to make sure I understand it. Okay, well this is not the part I just read. This is a simpler. I'm just kind of I misread it at first, but this is not what I just read. This is something different. The deltoids. When you're drawing the deltoids on a person, think of them as draping towels. Excuse me. Draping towels. So let's draw a person without deltoids. Kind of like a tube dude. And the deltoids would start the kind of, well, hold on, I don't want to say that. They start right here at the end of the collarbone, like they touch the end of the collarbone. That's by end I mean the end of the collarbone here, not the center. So the collarbone's somewhere right there. Deltoids start around this area. Depending on how the body type of the person, they may appear to be less or more voluminous and larger or smaller, and they would wrap around towards the back. So this is the deltoid wrapped around, and then he's got another drawing of like a cylinder. And then on top of the cylinder he just drew like this, like a tube, kind of like flopped over, draped around the cylinder. It's just to illustrate the point that the deltoids are kind of like the draped around a pole. Anyway, so when you're drawing those arms, that's just something to consider. They're gonna kind of be draped like that. They're like, I guess this is more, the way I would see it is that what I'm taking from this is that to say they're draped across the top of the arm, it's informing you about how to render it, right? Because if it's like if you think of, like when you're drawing this, like it's a empty shape, basically. It's the deltoid would be if there's 3 sections of deltoid, there's like that front part, the top part that goes around, and then there's this part on the other side. It kind of is curved around here. It's just, you just got to keep in mind that the deltoid's not a flat object. It curves in space. I mean, the whole body's not a flat object, but I think like y'all probably did this. This is what I did, like in middle school when I drew characters. I'd draw the arm, which was like, here's the top of the arm, and then I'd draw the bicep, and then it was just another bicep, which was the tricep, and then like elbow, and it was like that. That's how I drew arms, right? And this is like, and then the guy would be like right here, right? He would just have his chest would just be here. You have to draw every individual ab. That would be like how I drew in middle school, right? And then I might do this to show like the fibers of the muscles. And then I might do this too. I might come in here and put this little Y shape. So this, the problem with this, well, besides the fact that it was a middle school drawing, so there's not much of a problem because I was just a kid. But what I'm not considering a middle school, what I didn't consider, was that the muscles are three-dimensional forms on a tube. The tube is the bone. So to draw it like this is like a piece of bread. Like it's just like it comes to a point here. If I were to try and make it 3D, and it's like sitting next to this other piece of bread, it doesn't really bend or fold. You know, it's blocky and it's kind of awkward. That's what that drawing was. That's what this old drawing was. But in reality, you gotta think of it like one of those soup places where they make the bread bowls. You gotta carve out the inside of the bread to fill it with delicious soup. We'll call it bone soup. And that's the difference with like how I was thinking about muscles in middle school versus now. I mean, I haven't thought about drawing muscles like this in a long time, but I feel like this is the place where everyone starts, and then they eventually start realizing, oh wait, I'm not thinking about everything correctly. So the deltoid is a curved, like a curved hollow kind of bowl shape that drapes across where the bone is. Right. Anyway, just to beat a dead horse. I'm just gonna... Okay. Then it just talks about I got this area at the back. So let me just read this out loud real quick. This is a little section. It says we note how I haven't drawn it, so you're not going to be able to note anything, just so you know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, because I haven't drawn it yet. Note how the muscles of the deltoids, the pectorals, the serratus, and eventually the abs and obliques all flow seamlessly together in their striations, and they radiate from the shoulder through to the pelvis on either side of the body. Actually, I didn't draw that. It's this one here. Let me get a new layer so I can demonstrate what it's telling us to take note of something, and this is what it's telling us to take note of. It's saying, notice how from the shoulders, the pectoral muscles, this might not be the best color to see, but you'll see in a second. The deltoids, the serratus, and eventually the abs and obliques, which are down here. We kind of went over that a little bit in the torso. They seamlessly flow together in their striations, and radiate from the shoulders through to the pelvis on either side of the body. So we got the radiation from the shoulders down to the pelvis, which will be down here, on both sides of the body. Because you gotta think of it like it's wrapped around. So from the shoulders, we got this movement and this flow of the muscle groups from either side of the body. He's got a little bit of a diagram here. Let me draw this a bit. This is you're gonna have to bear with me while I draw. This is the back. He's got the neck kind of like, he's got the head like right here. This is the trapezius. Kind of connects in here. It's kind of drawn like a little nodule that just you don't normally see, and then a deltoid. 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 This actually kind of wraps around. Goes into the scapula. There's this little bone bit, and then there's this, what is this? Another muscle. It's part of the trapezius, part of the traps. And then, what is this now? The labels are here and there, so I'm just trying to, I don't want to say the wrong name, even though it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what the name is, it just matters how it's functioning, you know, what it looks like. Okay, so this is smoother. I didn't draw it this smooth. These go into the arm. Into the arm. These are these two, if you were here yesterday, or if you watched the video from yesterday, these two tubes I just drew are the tubes that rotate the arm. They're the, what are they called? I don't know what they're called, but those tubes rotate your arm on a they rotate your arm on the y-axis. I think that's what, if you think of it like a 3D model, if your feet are along the x-axis, so the ground is the x, then the y-axis goes straight through you, and the z-axis is your front and back. So that these two muscles rotate your arm on the y-axis. Anyway, the whole point is they're connected to the arm bone. That's the whole point. That's why I'm talking about it like that. But watch the video from yesterday. I do a better job explaining it. Because I actually kind of needed to get it explained, because when I read it, you can't see like the rotation that he's talking about in the drawing. You kind of just got to make sure you're reading it correctly. That's the lat. And this is like another tube here. So you'd have this, all this is mirrored on the other side, And he's saying that when you have your shoulder back, when your shoulder's back, all these muscles here, let me get another color. All these muscles here bunch up. And when they bunch up, they kind of create this accordion shape. That's like if this is the back of somebody. They bunch together while the other muscles are stretched out. So if you have one arm outstretched, like I think of like a ballet dancer, if they have one arm outstretched and they're doing a move, and the other arm's like up and behind them, then you'll have these muscles stretching this way. Here's the deltoid, which is wrapped around. Here's the other deltoid, which is wrapped around. And these muscles are kind of bunched up, creating these cylinders. Anyway. It's just another way to look at things. Okay. I'm going to go on to the next page, which the next page is a whole other section now. We're going to go on to the forearms. I'm going to go into the forearms. I'm just going to start drawing some diagrams. I haven't read any of the section yet, but that's kind of been how I've been working. I haven't actually read through everything. I'm reading through as I go on the stream. So extending my canvas a bit. I just need to oops, I need to be on the right layer, and then I need to let's start with the blue. I'm going to draw these forearms. Gotta make sure everything's zoomed in enough. Otherwise, it's gonna be hard to see on the screen, on the live stream. Okay, so let me just quickly throw out some bones. These are the this is the bottom. What is this? Is this a humerus? It's upper arm bone, humerus, right? Is that it? Ah, crap. Back over here and take a look. Yeah, I didn't bother to learn the names, but now I'll know. Humerus, yes. The muscle wraps underneath the humerus. Okay, this is the humerus. That's the elbow. Just so y'all have a point of reference. And then the other bone is going to be kind of covered up. I'm going to switch my colors because it's going to make it easier to see. I'll do this dark purple. Dark purple is good. One group of muscles attaches here on this side of the arm. Sorry, I'm just trying to read through this. It doesn't look... I don't understand how... Oh, I guess it's another group of muscles on top. Okay, I'm going to try and make sure I explain this correctly. To myself, even. So the diagram shows the way muscles cross over the bones, or they spiral from one side of the arm to the other. The muscles as a group are all attached in roughly the same locations. Okay, so I'm about to draw two instances of muscles wrapping around bone, and it doesn't tell me which, like I said, I haven't read this yet, so I'm going to go back and read it myself, but in one instance I'm going to be drawing what I feel like I'm drawing is a set of muscles that are underneath another set of muscles, and they both mimic the same movement. And then the hand would be here. Okay, so that's one set of muscles. The other set will be in kind of yellow. This set comes all the way up here. It comes down right up, somewhere up here actually, not that far down. Now the one I'm going to draw again, I'm going to draw another one right next to it, and it's the opposite arm, but it's showing me another set of muscles, I believe. So it's one group underneath the other group. Yeah, okay, I see it now. It's one group under another group. So there's gonna, what I've just drawn now is, a better way of explaining this. It's, okay, so I just drew one set of muscles, and then layered on top of these muscles are another set. So I'm going to switch the colors to a red, or like a magenta. I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm going to do the same, on the same kind of model. I'm going to kind of draw the other set. Let me, easier if I flip this. Okay, so there's another set that goes down this way. Yeah, this is it. Okay. This is what I'm trying to explain. And let's make this one green. Okay. And this one... This one goes up here and around the outside. Okay. Alright, let me flip it back. I'll kind of show you what. So, the way he drew the diagram, it's a left arm and a right arm. But he's showing through the left arm and the right arm the layering of the muscles. So there's these two muscles. These two muscles right here, this green and this red, those are kind of the, if you feel your right arm on the forearm, and you go up towards your elbow, these are the ones on top, I believe. And that I might be getting this wrong, but just, you kind of feel there's a bulky part on the outside of your right arm near your elbow. Underneath that is another group, and they kind of crisscross. You got one that crisscrosses from the inner elbow, right near the joint, all the way down through the hand. And there's one on top that goes from the outer elbow all the way down through the hand. And likewise, there's a smaller subgroup in there. Alright? So when they're layered together, it's going to be, it's like a mess of muscles there. But all these muscles the muscles of the shoulder that we just kind of gone over in the last couple days, they serve to lift the arm, right? So like the entire purpose of all those shoulder muscles, the deltoid and like those little sub-muscles that rotate the arm, it's all so you can lift and rotate your arms in various positions. And the bicep and the tricep, those serve to move the forearm up and down. And this group of muscles we just kind of blocked out, all of those muscles, they help rotate your wrist, and I believe they connect to the tendons that are in your fingers to help pull. Yeah, it's all your grip strength. It's all back here near the elbow. Grip. Your fingers play a part in it too, but I guess it's not your, yeah, it's your grip strength, because the muscles on the inside create the grip and the muscles on the outside let go. Anyway, just feel your forearm. You can feel it happening. Anyway, if you need more, if you don't understand what I'm saying, ridge muscles radiate from when the arm is pronated. Here's something. So, muscle segments as links of chain. So here's, this is pretty good, okay? So, I'm going to draw these out. Let's say this is the deltoid, and you have the bicep. You have the deltoid split into 3 regions. You have the bicep. And then from here, it goes into the forearm. Right? So that's the arm. Roughly. Okay. You can think of the arm simplified like like a chain. There we go. Excuse me. Think of the arm like a chain. And let me kind of add in some volume to this. But the wrong way, whatever. Don't listen. Don't look at that one. This is easy. I'll just draw it out. Let's just draw it like this. I only need 3 links. That's the thing. Let's think of like a chain, okay? As a basic construction. And in terms of how it moves, well, not really how it moves. Don't even think that. Just ignore what I just said there. But just quick chain, okay? Really quick, super quick. A chain, right? So now we can take some simple shapes. We'll go with these prisms. Let me set up some guides real quick for myself. And this is a plugin I have. It's called the Perspective plugin, if you're wondering what this is. There's different ways to do this, but I just want to quickly set up some guides. Okay, there we go. It's still working. Anyway. Those guides are up. Sorry, I'm responding to a message real quick. Okay, so okay, sorry about that. I've got these blocky shapes. And this would be, think of this as the upper arm, the deltoid, right? And from this blocky shape, we'd have this other set of muscle that comes out. That's the bicep. If you're wondering where to get the perspective tool, I forgot where I got it from, but I found it by Googling perspective plugin Photoshop. Just a FYI, before people start asking. Anyway. Or if you're watching this on YouTube later, just Google search perspective plugin Photoshop. That's right, I found it. And it's one of the websites that comes up on the first page. And the guy just has them like plugins, and he makes them for free for people to try out. So anyway. Okay. So the whole point in illustrating this is just, in terms of a three-dimensional form, one of the easiest ways to think about how the arm is going to work is in a chain. And this is, when I flipped through this book, when I first saw it at Barnes & Noble, this was the thing that made me go, ah, cool, like I never thought of it like that, but it makes sense. like the shape of the muscles. Well, hold on. Let me correct this because I didn't draw this right. Sorry, I just didn't follow my own perspective grid. Anyway, there we go. That's more like it. So, we got to think of it like a chain. And this is like for when you're thinking about how the shadows hit in rendering. The very rudimentary way to block in your shadows would be to just say, okay, everything on this side is dark, everything on this side is light. And then from there, you render to make the forms look accurate. I wouldn't ever draw like a block. I wouldn't start with drawing blocky stuff because that's too much of a jump from straight up prisms to soft forms. But you get the idea. Plugin. Yeah, Photoshop plugin perspective tool. Just Google search that and it'll come in. MMA is the big sport. Sorry. It's a very specific username, that's all. Oh, am I on the wrong layer? Oh, yeah, I've been on the wrong layer. Whatever. Okay. Let's go on to the next page. Not the next page, but I'm going to go on to the next diagram. Pronation. Bones of the forearm create an X shape. And he's got this drawn out, just so y'all understand what that is. It's X. It's in the book. It's actually... I'm not trying to be a smartass. But then he goes in to draw this two prisms that are wrapped together. These two prisms are wrapped. Excuse me. Pardon me. These two prisms are wrapped, so they kind of show what he's talking about in like a 3D space. And then this one kind of comes around here. And it ends right here. It's slightly smaller, and he kind of renders it like a more of a. It looks like a circle. So it's like he drew a circle and a square together, and then he drew it out from there. Okay. Right. Talks about rhythms. Muscles move in one direction. Skin creases perpendicular to the muscle rhythm. We've got this other drawing here. The skin creases perpendicular to the muscle rhythm. So this is the deltoid and tricep bicep. The skin creases perpendicular to the muscle's rhythm. Slightly there, it's not so much. Anyway, the crease he's talking about is right here. Crease. So when the muscles, when the arm moves, that's where the the skin and everything kind of bunches up. Anyway, y'all understand what's going on? And then in terms of the muscles and how those sit, if we have the deltoid here, we have the deltoid here. And bicep, those are those brachioradialis, whatever. Tricep. The tricep, remember, look at the tricep goes all the way down to the elbow. And then from there, you just gotta remember that this goes all the way down. It'll taper more or less depending on the person, their body type, but and then like just how, regardless of body type and person, how fat they are. Okay, but it's just saying muscles move in one direction. So he's got a bunch of arrows going here. Anyway, breaks up the planes of the arms a little more. There's a good section coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep drawing a few more of these diagrams that are on this page, and then I'm going to, that'll probably take me to the end of the hour. Just some other, what color do I have? Gray, I want black. Okay. The planes of the arms. Let me ignore this perspective thing I drew out, because I don't need it for this part. Okay. What happened to my color? God dang it. Mike, Miles, what's up? Miles. I know Miles as a real human being. He exists in real life to me, unlike the rest of you. Everyone else is fake on the internet. Miles is real, because I had coffee with him last night. IRL. We'll get together on Sunday at, I was thinking the New Epochs. It's right there by the Alamo Draft House. Right next, like in that same area where we do the sketch night. We'll just check it out. The New Epoch. It's open till midnight, so it's actually a coffee shop that's open till midnight. That's right there in that same area. If they had lots of space, then it might be a cool place to have the sketch night, but I don't think we have much space either. He's off that day. No worries. Cool. I figured just sometime in the afternoon, like I don't know, 1 o'clock or something. Just meet up, have coffee, and draw, and then I'll get I'll message Carlton and there's this guy Riley named Helix Helix. He's an awesome whatever. I'm gonna invite him probably. But oh, and then Matt. I think Matt wanted to show up, so I'll message him too. Get Matt on board. But yeah, that Helix guy is going to a life drawing class tonight. Or no, it's not a life drawing class, but it's those life models at the AVAA. But then Kevin was telling me that it's kind of like a dungeon, like it's like underground. It's like a basement in the like bottom floor of this building, and it's really cramped. But it's only $5. It's like a good deal, $5 for a life drawing. Nate and Brock. Yeah, I want to try it out. I want to go there. Not tonight. Tonight I gotta work, but like I would like to go there maybe next week or something. Nate. Who's Nate? Do I know Nate? I don't know if I know Nate. Okay. I guess Cooper and Abel, if you don't know Abel. Yeah, no, I don't think I know Cooper and Nate. I know Brock Cooper. Nate Abel? Abe. Abel. Abe. Correct, yeah, okay, cool. So this is just another breakdown of the arms and the forearms from this book. You can kind of see how the light would interact. Excuse me. He's got, like on the book drawings, he's got the ridges like drawn out to kind of remind you that everything's volumetric, and he's got these contour lines all over the place. I'm not drawing those out. I haven't been drawing those out as much just because I'm trying to get more drawings done. And I mean, I understand what's going on, but in case y'all are wondering, there's a bunch of like volumetric contour lines on these drawings. Let's see here. We can do one more. I'm gonna go over it by a little bit, but it'll be okay. I mean, yeah, Ron's demo. I need to actually watch the videos because those like make a huge difference when you see how he draws them. But yeah, I'm gonna watch the videos another time and just practice again later. But right now I'm just going over like the base forms. And this one section. Yeah, and what you said, the Riley rhythms? The Riley rhythms were those you gotta, I mean, I feel like when I saw him do it on the video, it's like, you have to watch him do it or else you won't know what the hell's going on. You won't understand how he's doing it. Because those were like, completely different. Completely different in terms of how he's constructing those versus what they look like in the book, because you can't see, yeah, you can't see the gestures he's making and how he's making them. He's got real slow, steady hand, and he's just like going from one to the other real fast, and like I want to look into those Riley rhythms just on their own. But Ron Lemon's got some. I think if you live near where he lives, you can like take classes with him in person. And I know he did teach with Tad for a while, but I don't think he does that anymore. Don't think he's doing that anymore. But that's where I had learned about him from originally, was the art department. Tad's the art department, if you don't know what Tad is when I say Tad. I took one class from the art department. It was a painting class. And yeah, I mean, I didn't attend the whole thing because I was still working full time when I took it. But yeah. I looked at his website. It didn't have anything about him teaching at TAD anymore. If it did, because I feel like if he still taught there, he'd have it like a link to it in his website saying like I teach at the art department. But yeah, they run from his studio. Are you working on stuff, Miles, right now? Are you like just working on things at the house or something, or wherever you are? I gotta plan out. I gotta plan out a life drawing session. Not life drawing session. Still life session. Working on Comic-Con 2014 entry. Miles does 3D work. If anyone doesn't know who Miles is, Miles Wadsworth is in the chat. It's not Miles Johnson. Miles Wadsworth does 3D modeling caricature. Not caricature, sorry. Character work. I want to do cast drawing. I mean, like, after I get through this anatomy stuff, I really want to do, like, a week of cast drawing where it's the same cast over a course of 7 days or 8 days or something. 14 days. Where it's just an intense study. So I'd like to do that. Okay. Yeah, no, I learn more when I take my time doing studies, or if I target specific things. So right now, everybody, here's our little study sheet. If you're just tuning into the video, the drawing up here was an example of how I used to draw in middle school, to kind of show a difference with how things work. Anyway, but if you weren't here, you're just like, wow, what's that really crappy one up there? Freelance stuff. I need some freelance. I need some freelance work. Some actual illustration freelance work. I would like that. I'd like to do that for a company, perhaps. Perhaps a company involved in the game publishing industry. Or the book publishing industry. So there's a whole nother section on the forearms I'm going to go over tomorrow. Oh wow, actually there's there's like 2 sections of the forearms beyond what I just drew. So I'll go over the next 2 sections tomorrow. The next part we're going to talk about fitting the muscles together and how they basically how they sit next to each other on the arm and how they interact with each other. And there'll be a kind of an in-depth breakdown of that elbow area. It's the elbow area that kind of gets pinched against the bicep. And then after that, there'll be an even more broken down example of the forearm muscles and how they wrap onto the humerus. Yeah. And then it goes into a little bit of drawing the arm in perspective, breaking down the shapes, and then attaching the muscles. That'll be, I think that's something I want to do later, just to draw cylinders out, base cylinders, and just draw all the muscles on as a practice. Cross-check what I'm doing with these drawings. But after we get done with the forearms, we're going to go down to everyone's favorite, the hands. It's like a go-to practice thing with most people when they start drawing. You draw your own hand, or your face, or someone else's face. But the hands, and it's the first thing people like to practice when they start drawing, when they start actually practice drawing hands. And then it's the one of the parts that most people have a lot of trouble with, because you always see people posting on forums and websites or stuff saying, I don't know how to draw hands really well. And this kind of breaks down, it'll break down the bone structure in the hands and the fingers, and then it'll kind of break down where the muscle masses squish and stretch. It also talks about how the hand grips, which is another important thing for illustration and concept art, because you're always going to probably draw a character holding something, or there'll be a lot of instances where you're drawing a character holding something. But the hands, something big, and then after the hands, we're going to go into the head, drawing the head. And the head's the other one that lots of people have trouble doing, not drewing. But head construction, how the head attaches to the neck, which then attaches to the torso, and then that's it. We only have a few more sections to go. And it's only, I mean, that's it for now. There's still more stuff to study on anatomy, and there's different people you should read up on. But after I get through this section on the human anatomy, I will stop, and I will begin composition exercises. Sorry. I'll talk to my buddy Carlton. Miles knows him, but he has a bunch of composition exercises he does. The rest of this book, though, the anatomy book from Imagine Effects, after it leaves the human body, it immediately goes into drawing animal anatomy. And Marshall Vandrift is the illustrator or artist that, or both. I said illustrator or artist. What I meant to say was, I don't know if he's an illustrator or like a painter. Like, everything is illustrated in the book, but he might be like a painter as far as like his profession. But everything in the book's graphite. When I say illustration, I mean like graphite versus paint. Which I know it's a really particular distinction, but anyway. The next part of the book is all, yeah, I got that. That's cool, yeah. I need to definitely get that, and then I have framed ink I'm going to look up some other composition practice things, like breaking down thumbnails. Marshall's illustrator and instructor. Yeah. The rest of this book is animal anatomy, and it's done by Marshall Van Drift. And it compares skeletons and basic foot structure of foot, paw, hoof, the similarities between those parts, the similarities between the muscle groups, the proportions and statures of the arms, legs, torsos, neck, everything. Like it's a huge, in-depth animal anatomy, and it covers like every animal. There's got pictures of bulls, there's monkeys, and there's like lions, and then there's horses, a cow compared to a dog, compared to a big cat, compared to a horse, compared to a human, compared to a gorilla, compared to a baboon, a man on a horse, constructing an elephant. I mean, it's got like an in-depth animal breakdown. The movement and the rotation of the animal's heads from the neck of the animal, like the range of motion they have. So it's all about animals. The next section, which I'm not going to go over now. I'll come back. I'll probably do something like that later. I want to go into composition. And then it's got and then it's got a series of the top 10 fantasy art poses. And it's got these two people in very little clothing posing in the most, I guess, frequently used poses. There is such famous poses as the villain making a plan, flying, the warrior, the slayer, which could be the warrior, the preparing to strike, the evil sorceress, the walker in the woods, the villain creeping, scaling the wall, and victory. Oh, victory. I thought I was going to say victorious. That's pretty funny. And then there's another anatomy breakdown of from Warren Liu of South Africa. And he's got basically posing people, posing characters. Talking about eye level, silhouetting. Anyway. That's everything else. There's some feedback stuff in the book. I mean, the rest of the book reads like a regular Imagine FX magazine. But, it's pretty funny. It's, one of the questions is, what's the best way to draw a screaming face? It's like, I don't know how you'd answer that. Just be like, oh, look at someone screaming and then draw them screaming. There's like vague questions. I feel like that's a vague question. It's not vague, it's just, it's like self-answering kind of thing. How do I draw a face screaming? Look at a face screaming. And draw it, and then make it your character. You know. But I guess the real way to do it, if you're starting out, the real way to do it would be to break down your character into simple shapes. Draw someone screaming, then break that face into simple shapes, and then take the first simple shapes of your character and rearrange them to match the screaming face, and then you fill in the blanks. That would be the best way to do it. Because you'd be deconstructing your own character, and then you'd be constructing a new character. So, that would be my answer. It's a specific character. But if it's just a guy screaming, just you need a reference, just take a picture of yourself screaming. Or don't actually scream, but like faux scream. Faux scream. Faux sounds like a terrible ice cream. I'll post this up. We're on day 14. Hello, CJ. We're on day 14, right? I feel like 14 is the day we're on. Daily study group. Day 14. Ah, damn it. I can't use my hotkey whenever I have my text tool selected. Oh my goodness. Have you been studying, CJ? Stop it. There we go. I think we're day 14. Miles, you're gonna head out. I'll see you on Sunday. Yes, I will see you Sunday. CJ. Oh, I just was saying, have you done your study today? See you, Miles. See you Sunday. Draw. We'll draw in person. All the rest of y'all could just wish you were there with us. I'm sorry. Just stupid things I'm saying. Not yet. Working on some orc stuff. Typical. Typical of any fantasy artist. Haven't gotten to studying yet. Been working on some orcs. But it's too small. Or wizards. Wizards is the other thing it could be. Sorry, asshole. I've been working on some orcs all day. Haven't gotten to your project. That's what you say to a client. Wizards are next. It's funny. Thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for joining me. You just heard my inner monologue talking to myself, and then I accidentally said it out loud. That's what that was just now. When I just said thank everyone, that was me telling myself to thank everyone, but I accidentally let that slip. I shouldn't have done that, because then he got a window into my brain. And any zombie would love to have the window into my brain. Composition studies will be next, CJ. I've been thinking about it. I want to do composition stuff for the next few days after the anatomy stuff's done with. Thumbnail compositions. That'll be like an hour of practicing compositions, and I feel like one thing we can do for composition practice is have like an emotion maybe, or like a sense of like some kind of emotion you'd want to invoke in a piece, and then with just two colors create a composition that invokes that emotion. And yeah, we can get on Skype about it. I need to get some ideas. I know a guy that does lots of composition practice, and I can talk to him about it too. I know a guy. Oh, yeah. So sweet. It's really good. I love it. Like I read through the whole thing the first day I got it. thank you all for joining me. Um, Joining me in the daily study group. CJ Marsh is on the chat right now. He's in the chat right now. We'll be doing a study later on today. We're just doing a study every day for an hour. That's how it works. We're all trying to become better. We're all trying to become working professionals. Or at least if you are a working professional, get more work. But if you didn't catch this, if you're just now joining in and you missed it, it's going to be in the archive down below. If you're on live stream, if you're on YouTube, you have no idea what I'm talking about. If you're on YouTube, you got to go to youtube.com/Mike086, find day 13, which will make sense because the day before, day 14 is today. Whatever, anyway, just go to the YouTube channel and you'll find the videos there. If you don't see this online tonight, you'll see it online tomorrow night on the YouTube channel. If you're in the future watching this, good luck to you, and I wish you the best of luck in your journey, and I hope these videos are good for you. But if you're in the far future watching this now, just know that these studies every day were worth it, and I appreciate everyone watching. Thanks again. I'm going to go ahead and throw on some music, and we'll get going with, well, we'll get going with nothing. I'm going to just get to work, really. You'll get going with stuff, too. You'll get going with your own work. But what I'm talking about in particular is my work I have to do. I'm not going to stream it right away. I'll probably get on the stream later and do work with some music if anyone wants to join in and listen to my music, basically. Anyway, once again, thanks for joining. I leave you with music from a movie called The Serbian Film.